And now here's Rick Casey with tonight's Last Word.
Rick Perry this week laid out a plan to radically change two of the three branches of federal government. No, it wasn't because he couldn't remember the third branch. He proposes that Congress be turned into a part-time body, cutting both the length of their sessions and their salaries in half. He also proposes that federal judges, including the Supreme Court, be appointed to limited terms. In other words, he wants to make Washington more like Austin. I can see the bumper sticker, Rick Perry, make Washington weird. The branch he doesn't want to fundamentally change is the presidency. Sure, he proposed cutting the president's salary as well, and we know he wants to shutter several cabinet departments, but in the unlikely event his proposals were enacted, it would make the presidency much stronger. Power is pretty much a zero-sum game. If you take it away from judges and legislators, it doesn't just disappear, it goes somewhere else. With term limits for federal judges, every president would get to appoint more of them. The residual influence of their appointments wouldn't last as long, but they would have much more power to reverse the influence of their predecessors. And with Congress out of session half the time, the president would make many more interim appointments and would run the government part of the time without congressional interference. This increase in power would track what Perry has done as governor. Traditionally, the Texas governor was considered by some to have less power than the lieutenant governor, who presides over the powerful Senate. But Perry has used two previously untapped, at least to this extent, privileges to become the most powerful governor in Texas history. The first is the veto. In 2001, at the end of the first session of the legislature of his governorship, Perry staged what became known as the Father's Day Massacre. On the last day possible, thereby precluding any reversal, he vetoed a record 79 bills. Now, many vetoes made no sense at all. Bills sponsored by fellow Republicans and passed with little or no opposition. Not even Perry's staff had warned of problems. The only rational explanation was that Perry was settling scores, and the message to legislators was clear: cross Perry at the peril of any legislation you want to pass. Perry's other path to extraordinary power has been his use of appointments. Now in office for a decade, also a record, Perry has filled every appointed position in state government. He has heavily favored his financial backers, and he has demanded absolute loyalty. When two university regents were found to have contributed to Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison's campaign challenging Perry, they were promptly forced to resign. More recently, Perry told the media he opposed a proposal to put the Confederate flag on a specialty license plate, a controversy he didn't need in his presidential race. The board responsible for such decisions had split 4-4 last spring, but they got the message and recently voted the license plate down 8-0. Rick Perry may not be good at debates, but he excels at power politics. And that's it for Texas Week. See you next time.